Links to send me art for the channel. Also, send me comics, or if you want me to read your comic and offer a little free editing or rewriting, send it in. I'll make a video out of it. Bianca edits your comic. There is no excuse for sloppy grammar in a $30 book. Looking at you, Mike. I thought about critiquing the Comicsgate books, but since most of them are the first book, it wouldn't really be fair. Save that for the second books. By then, they will have worked the kinks out. 90% of crowdfunded comics are crap, but I will say that Comicsgate has a higher percentage of good to great material. Iron Sights, Jawbreakers, Lone Star, Rogue, Cyberfrog were very good and some were excellent. So this is Rescue 2020 by Dana Schwartz. I saw Zach did a video on this, but he's gotten so soft since he started focusing more on selling comics and stacking cash, which is cool, but it means that he's a little soy now. Once you start on the soy slide, you usually end up cucking harder and harder. Next thing you know, you'll be Sean Gurdon Murphy selling out a fellow artist because of his religious beliefs. Don't be that guy. Never bend the knee. Never apologize to SJWs. The NPCs control you, Sean. You bent over for them, and nobody respects a traitor. Once you give SJWs leverage, you really shot yourself in the foot with that one, because they will use it to get more and more and more. The best thing to do is right off from the bat, tell them to go after themselves, or ignore them. Just ignore them. Just laugh at them. They really do not like to be laughed at. Speaking of traitors, so I hear some people saying that Doug deserves it because he backstabbed Comicsgate. But what did Dirty Doug do to be hated so much? I'm not as informed on Doug as I might be because I never watched his show. Like I said, he wasn't my cup of tea. He was just so smug. But I was unaware that he was an actual monster. I remember that he and EVS got into a lover's spat about, I don't know, some asinine thing, but I don't recall exactly what else he did that deserves the 2 minutes of hate. But I'm sure someone will explain it in the comments with many four-letter words. Don't swear, YouTube hides those comments. They even hide the word sex. Okay, keep this in mind. This is the little girl being so much smarter than everyone else. Definitely smarter than all the boys. That's the first three panel. And then the bottom one, it shows her as an executive assistant to a billionaire. Keep in mind, executive assistants in huge companies like Stark Industries, definitely making six figures, probably making seven figures. You're an integral part of the business. When they say you're his right-hand man, they mean that. You're very, very important. And you're making a ton of money. And you're not the one who is taking clothing to the launderer. That's insane. Executive assistants have their own assistants. So say she's making, I don't know, big industry, maybe she's making $800,000. Her assistant in an expensive town, you're probably, her assistant is probably making $250,000 simply because to live in these expensive cities, you've got to have these huge salaries. So no, she's not taking clothes to the laundromat. She has someone to do that for her. And yes, people want to bypass her and go talk to the person in charge, but I don't think Schwartz knows how important executive secretaries are. They are a crucial part of the business. They what's it called when you make decisions on someone's authority? Plenary powers? Potentiary? I forget what it's called. Anyway, they have a lot of power, is my point. Anyway, Schwartz, I don't know how well she can write because she isn't really trying to write here. She's writing for women, but women don't buy comics. So I'm guessing this first issue will have great sales, but be canceled very soon. The audience Schwartz is writing for doesn't exist. Her whole vibe is how much she hates white people in general, white men in specific. Another thing that doesn't make sense about this is this executive secretary thing. She's got so much money, and she's so smart. And she's so smart in grammar school and in high school, and then she's getting scholarships into whatever college she wants to go to get her bachelor's and probably her master's of business or maybe a PhD in economics or math, whatever. The thing is, she can write her own ticket. She can start her own business, and she can be the boss. How about that, Schwartz? When you make the character so overpowered that she's so smart, she's smarter than everyone, well, then why didn't she just start her own business? It's this cutesy passive aggressiveness that you notice after a few issues. They don't do it in the first issue because it's important to have big sales, but they start the hatred in the second issues, and they just keep it going. Unless you're Al Ewing. He starts on issue 1 and just goes hog wild. The thing is, they know that it costs them money, but Marvel is not about money. It's about hate propaganda. There is ostensibly a girl power, men are evil theme going on here, but it's only white men that are evil. Really odd when you consider that while men are overrepresented in business, white men are actually underrepresented. So Pepper Potts has to go on a mission to recover some DNA to bring the plot back to life. And she has to shatter the glass ceiling along the way. But let me set the scene here. She's middle-aged and doesn't have kids. She adopted 2 kids who she raised with Happy. Now, usually when people don't have kids, there's a reason for it that the story would explain. But Schwartz decided to skip that. Pepper Potts hooks up with Stark's mom, who is in her 60s. So you have these 2 skinny old ladies kicking ass and taking names. Nobody wants to see 40-plus-year-old women doing superhero stuff. And 40-plus-year-old women don't buy comic books. Sex sells, and sell to your audience. Your audience is 95% male. Men, though I will say that the some of the people who sent me comic books and graphic novels were women. So I kind of undercutting my own argument there. But however, the argument is still there are women in comics, obviously, Nerdette's Newsstand and a bunch of other chicks who are into comics, but even they know that they're the rare exception. And I want to thank everyone who sent me comics and the graphic novels. It was awesome. My point is that men of all ages are really into beautiful women. It doesn't matter how old the woman is. You got to give Pepper Potts boobs and possibly show her having sex with a candle. So these 2 boobless broads run around fighting drones, which they effortlessly defeat. The whole time, the reader is hoping that someone interesting shows up, like Iron Man. Think about it. This comic is about the secretary of the character that, oh, look, they're drinking tea. They're just sitting around drinking tea. Good Lord. Nobody cares about the secretary. They care about Tony Stark. And nobody cares about the character's parents. Then they introduce the LGBT, genderqueer, pan-non-binary dragonkin he/she who was a sub-bottom into BDSM from his colored person of color boyfriend who was an IV drug user from Haiti. Hey Schwartz, 95% of your audience is straight. Now me, I am LGBTCG, but I don't try to impose my deviant ways onto anyone. Anyway, it sucks, but it probably still grossed a few 100,000 in sales because people just want those number ones. But by this time next year, no one will remember it. But don't think for a moment that they will fire Schwartz when it fails. She isn't going anywhere. Sales don't matter at Marvel. Only propaganda does. She will only leave if she gets a better job at an online gambling company where she will issue a tweet that says she always wanted to work in online gambling. It's an exciting, growing industry. And then when she gets hired back in comics, she'll issue a tweet that says she always wanted to work in comics. It's an exciting, growing industry. Who was not Joe Glass? Casada? One of those dance slots. Someone said, it's a great time to get into comics. Do we do math differently? Do we do math? Anyway, so you've got these 2 middle-aged, well, one's middle-aged, 40, no kids, and a 60-year-old lady just kicking ass and taking names. It's good to see Schwartz is so pro-Second Amendment, right? Right, Schwartz? Not in my house. Thank God. Women have the ability to defend themselves. It's like men and women are not equal. Men and women are very, very different. But what is it, Colt? Colt makes men and women actually equal. A 357 is a woman's best friend. A little snub-nosed 5-shot. Keep that on you. Keep that in your purse all times, baby. Pepper spray, mace, 357 for the purse. 45 with a underslung light on the rails for the bedside. A Glock is a girl's best friend. Anyway, so thank God she's be able to hit these drones. These two boobless ladies. Listen, I just heard in a 37-minute long thing by the Fourth Age, who was talking about Sana Amanat and Nascente doing this interview and talking about women in comics. And Nascente was saying that she knew that she was in a man's world and she had to get out of her comfort zone to write for men, because that's who's buying the comics. And so that was her where she was coming from. But Sana was saying, no, we want to write for women. Women don't buy comics. This, I guess you're selling to women, because there's nothing in this for men. This is insane. If you showed this to somebody 40 years ago when comics were selling, so what the hell are you doing? Oh, well, I think I already did that. I feel like we got to work it into our new album. Zeb, absolutely not. Mental illness haircut. Look at his collar. I don't know if you're into the scene, but yes, that collar has meaning. And dudes don't wear those collars ever. Anyway, you've got two women just running around. So she's probably 45, 50. She's 65, because Tony Stark is, I don't know how old she was when Tony Stark. Anyway, let me read this. Do you believe in a soul? And, of course, Schwartz can't have religion. So she says, I believe in people. Do you know why I've given so much of my life to Tony Stark? I would assume it's the money and the $300,000 Lamborghini he gave you, and the penthouse apartment, probably the $1 million salary, the stock options, the rental properties. I'm assuming it's the money. That's why you gave so much of your life. It's because I believe in him and the money. You're not a slave working for a billionaire. You're a millionaire in your own right. This is insane. Anyway, she says, I don't know what it is you're doing, but you know what? I think I believe in Pepper Potts. Okay, sales figures aren't out on this yet. Number one, I don't know. I'll guess 25,000 because it's a number one and it's a big name. Number two, a third of that. That's next issue. Aren't you excited? Schwartz is just so smuggy. Her and Smugless should team up together to write the smuggest comic book on earth. There's just so much smug in this expression. I feel like she's judging me. Schwartz, are you judging me, Schwartz? She can see into my soul with those eyes. How are you only 28? Is this maybe this is the wrong Schwartz? I don't know. Okay, this is Sweet Jesus. No, Sweet Jesus. Good God. Even gay dudes aren't this gay. This is ridiculous. This is they can't have men in comics, masculine men. Oh, hold on. Okay, this is the scene where they're, I don't know, in college or something. And so you got these dudes, question mark? Well, you can see this, sitting around. I guess they're all dudes, except, I mean, the gay, or no, it's a chick, but she doesn't have any boobs, so she's probably, I don't know. They just have to make these dudes as effeminate as possible so the woman can appear to be more... Okay, the truth of the matter is, I guess this is a college class, so the woman's going to be anywhere from 5'3" on up, and the dudes are going to be anywhere from 5'10" to over 6 feet on up. But they can't have these big towering guys tower over these much shorter, slimmer women, so they have to make them all equal, so they make them just as thin and just soy-filled, as effeminate as possible. It's just cringy. It hurts to see this. And the thing is, you read one of these comics, you don't notice it, but you start reading more than one, and it's quickly very apparent. Oh, hey, look. You made the dude just... Not even gay dudes in college are this gay. Shaved hair and the BDSM collar. Great. Who's the comic for? Nobody. It's just an ego project. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Anyone know the name of that? I guarantee you someone will. Someone sent me Soul Finder. I think it was a lady who sent it. I think Actually, yeah, women did send some stuff in, which is cool. Thank you for that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next episode.